I will first start with the Vedic prayer, which is ancient, which kind of describes what we are trying to do in our own little humble way. Before I do the rest. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkhapat bhavet, loka samasta sukhino. Shom shanti shanti shanti. I will explain this after thanking the dignitaries who are here, so graciously come to this talk. अंग्रेजी में हो जाएगा, हिंदी में चलिए थोड़ा हिंदी भी बोलें. So first of all, I would like to thank His Holiness Dr. Shivamurti Shivacharya Swamiji of the Tarla Balumat, the Thai Shitu Rinpoche, who is the 11th Kenting Thai Shitu Rinpoche, for so graciously, as we always say when we meet each other, we are old friends, not in this life only, but Maulana Wahiduddin Khan was here, he has left. I must thank him in his absence. Archbishop did not come, but I still thank him for thinking of coming here. He has some other work to do. Bhai S. Manjit Singh, Acharya Lokesh Muni from the Jain community, Dr. A.K. Merchant, again a good friend, an old friend, and the dignitaries here. First, I must welcome and thank Sri Ravi Shankar Prasadji for having come in spite of his schedule. We know how the schedule is. And Dr. Najma Heptullah, who was informed only yesterday, she told me. And she decided to come. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming. And my very, very dear friend, not because we are from Kerala, but also otherwise, the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Professor P.J. Kurian, Sri Manish Shishodia, who is the Deputy Chief Minister, had come, but he had to go back urgently because he said of certain situations in Delhi. And my good friend Mansoor Khan, we have not known each other for a long time, but the first time we met in Sherwoling Monastery, we made very good friends with each other. He also videoed a talk, and I have to see it sometime. And Ambassador Sajana and Mrs. Sajana, who welcomed the whole gathering for us, who has been now associating with us for quite some time. Every time we suggest, he is gracious enough to come. Dr. Chandrakant Pandav, all the organizers of the walk in Delhi, with special mention Mr. Vivek Mahendru, Mrs. Vivek Mahendru, Bella Mahendru, sorry, and Lakshmi Bhatia, and all others. I don't want to, there's Zorba also in front of us. So, all who helped us with this walk, also my good friend Jyoti Singh, I think she's also here. She's Dr. Karan Singh's daughter. I have gone to Kashmir many times because she organizes what are known as the Dara Shikho conferences. And everyone else, not to forget Sri V.P. Mahendru, who is Vivekji's father, who is here. Even though he had some problem, he managed to come. Thank you, sir. And all the police adhikaris administration and everyone here, and all my friends, Padayatris, ladies and gentlemen. ये अभी मैंने जो प्रार्थना से शुरू किया, it means put in one sentence, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, may all living beings be happy. And Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And also before that, let no dukkha touch anybody. And may the whole world be happy. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. So the ancient Vedas were not confined to anything small. They talked about larger things, about the global, the whole life that we see before us, and which we don't see also sometimes. I forgot to mention the Bal Bharati schools. You are also here. Thank you. Now, I want to not take too much time, mention one or two things, and would like to start with my favorite story of the three blind men who went to see an elephant. You know, this comes from ancient Jain sources actually. And it was adopted by the great Sufi teacher Jalaluddin Rumi. And you can find it in his other text which hardly people know. One Masnavi everybody knows, but Fihi ma Fihi. Actually, the definition of fihi ma fihi is it is and yet it is not. Now, in this, he talks about three blind men who went to find out what an elephant is. Blind men, mind you. One of them touched the leg of the elephant and said that elephant is like a pillar which sometimes moves, and if you go too close, you might be crushed under it. The second man touched the tail of the elephant and said that the elephant is like a broom. There were no bathroom brushes then, like a broom. And that it keeps moving, and if you go too close, you might get a good slap, which is quite painful. The third touched the trunk of the elephant and said that the elephant is like a rubber hose, which keeps constantly moving. If you go too close, you hear some peculiar sounds like whoosh, whoosh coming out of it. Now this is the definition of an elephant. So with these definitions, each saying that my definition is right, there ensued a terrible battle, so much so that fist cups were exchanged and there was almost bloodshed. When somebody walked in who was not blind, could see. Sometimes I wonder, we have eyes, but can we see? But this man was not only did he have eyes, he could also see. He walked in and he said, when you say sant, saint, yogi, spiritually evolved person, it represents this man who could see, who walked in and he said, what are you people fighting about? So they explained to him. He said, listen, can you stop the fight before I can talk to you? Sure, sir. Tell us which is the correct definition. He said, you, A is right, B is right, C is right. However, in the absolute sense of the term, everybody is wrong. Because an elephant is much more than any of you can figure out. The truth which we talk about is so expansive and infinite. We call it Allah, God, Brahman. You can also call it a state of Shunya, whatever you want to call it, different names. It's so vast that our sense organs are so limited that we can get only a glimpse, a small part of it, which is fine. If I say, okay, this is what I know, this is what I see, but the problem starts when I say, This is what I know, this is what I see. What you see is wrong, what you feel is wrong. That's where the problem starts. There's no other problem. So, this is what Professor Kurian used an old Rigvedic sloka which says, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vedanti. This is what it means, that the truth is one and infinite. The wise men refer to it by different names. So therefore, it's wonderful that we have stalwarts and great saints and sons from all religions with us who feel the same, and gives me confidence that I might be really walking on the right path. So instead of spending too much time, I will now refer to the same truth in different religions in a nutshell, and then go a little forward. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, which is of course an important scripture for this nation, when Krishna is asked by Arjuna, who do you think is the best of human beings? Who do you think is the greatest of yogis? Who do you think is dearest to you? Is it somebody who worships you as you are? Or somebody who thinks of you as formless? Or in some other form? Who is the greater? It's beautiful. In the 12th chapter, which is known as Bhakti Yoga, Krishna says, it doesn't matter how I am worshipped or not worshipped. That's not so important. Not worship, I am adding please. Because I know that there are people who don't profess to be religious but are good people. This is why I added that. Krishna says, it doesn't matter how you worship me. The most important thing is what character and qualities does one have. What are the qualities, the gunas, which a person has, by which I see he's a great yogi, or yaha bhakta same priya, the bhakta who is dear to me. Beautiful. There are 3 qualities described. One, but I don't know whether we should go anyway. The first one, he says, is one who has control over his emotions and his senses. Believe me, most problems can be solved even with the differences of opinion, if one can keep one's emotions under control. So Krishna says, Samniyam Indriya Gramu, one who can keep all his indriyas, all his senses under some kind of control. Even attempt to control it, I would say, is one step better than someone who is left it wild. You know how angers, if you look at some problems that take place, violence, it is presented as a communal or political or something, but it comes with frayed tempers. If that is in peace, things can be worked out across the table. Dialogue is absolutely, samvad is required. Charcha ki zaruri hai. So, that is the one quality. The second quality, guna, that Krishna talks about is samnya, sarvatra samabuddhaya, which means a person who is dear to me is one. Now when Krishna says dear to me, read it as dear to the Supreme Lord. You need not think only Krishna. He says sarvatra samabuddhaya, which means one who keeps his mind balanced under all circumstances. Sitoshna sukha dukkheshu, in heat and in cold, in happiness and in sorrow. And he also says, Tulya ninda stutir mauni, a muni is one who considers praise and blame as the same thing. Most of our problems is because deep down in our hearts, we haven't learned this properly. It happens to me also many times. It has happened before. In spite of Babaji wielding the stick every now and then. You know how we live? When somebody praises us, we are in the 9th cloud, cloud 9. When someone says you're a bloody fool, you're down in the dumps. You're depressed. What does it matter? In fact, I think it's good to sometimes find fault with somebody. Not I should, but if somebody finds fault with you, then always praises and flatters you. Because then you discover your true image. We don't like it. And unless we find our true image, how do we discover who we truly are? There is an old Hindi movie song, Lata Mangeshkar, Meethi Meethi Baaton Se Bachna Zara. Beta, very often. So, this is the most important. And the third guna, which is the most important message of the Gita. Krishna says, I consider that yogi, that person to be the greatest of devotees, who is Sarva Bhuta Hide Rata, who has the welfare of all living beings in his heart. Now, what more can we put? Welfare of all living beings in one's heart. There is nothing more one can say. And therefore, peace is of essence. We have another ancient mantra, which is Sahana Bhavatu. There's many, much more, but it starts with, may we be protected. One thing I want to tell you, because I'm quoting Sanskrit, it does not belong to a religion. It's an ancient language, and sort of wisdom has come in that language. In the same way, when someone quotes Arabic, don't think he's quoting Islam. It's a language in which truths have been expressed. And so with any other language. So, what I want to say is that peace is of the essence, and every human being needs peace and protection to function, expand, and evolve. In insecurity, we cannot evolve. When a Muslim meets a Muslim, when we conduct satsang, we always say, Om Shanti, Shanti. So ultimately, Shanti is of the essence, peace. When two Muslims meet each other, they say, Salam Alaikum. What does it mean? It simply means, may the peace of the Lord be on you, and well-being. And the reply is, so be it to you. Jews meet each other, they say Shalom. Shalom is only a slight variation of Salam. So here is one side with Shalom, and here is another side with Salam, divided by a boundary, fighting each other. What a fate what a destiny that we have come to. And here in this country, we all know that this ancient system of thought called the Vedic and Upanishadic thought did not distinguish between any people. When I went to Babaji, he did not ask me which religion I came from or what was my. He said, are you serious? Are you sincere? So, this is what we are trying to talk about. Look at this country. You will not find, I'm proud of this, a single country in the world like India. Why? We have more than 23 languages. We have so many religions. And we have so many sampradayas. It's not as if all religions, even one religion is one unit. It's not. As far as the Hindu system of thought is concerned, multiple, it's a spectrum. I know of Shaivites, not all, who do not appreciate going to a Vishnu temple. I know Vaishnavites who see a Shivlinga and go this way. You would think that when you say Hindu, it is one. It's not. It is a combination of so many inputs. Someone says the world is an illusion. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The world is an illusion, only the truth. Someone says, no, the world is real, God is also real. Madhva. So you see, there are so many sampradayas. 22, 23 religions, and yet you ask an average citizen, he would very proudly tell us, I am a Hindustani, I am an Indian. This is very not so easy. You can be happy and live together if you have one religion and one language. But when all live together in peace, and I think most of the time we are this way. Most of the time we are proud to say. Unfortunately, here and there are fissures. They are given different names, political, religious, communal and so on. I refuse to believe this. I think they are caused due to vested interests and human selfishness. Like someone says, पीछे देखिए कोई स्वार्थ उसमें जरूर होगा. So this is so important to note. And we are saying that it is possible to live together. And this walk is not so much as a curative, as a prevention. You know, when the flame, when the spark lights and the fire becomes flames become a raging fire, it's very difficult to put it off. Everything is destroyed, we go back to square one and start. The evolution and development of this country comes to a grinding halt. If only people could sit across the table instead of resorting to violence. So we are walking. We have now completed 5,000 and odd kilometers. We will reach Srinagar in the first week of May. Wherever we go, in every place, you would have seen the film. Hundreds of people come together, which is a big hope for us. We didn't think so. When we started, we didn't know how this is going to work out. Irrespective of religion, people gather. We go to all religious places. Nobody has asked us, don't come here. No. This is the greatness of this country. We want to preserve it. So wherever we go, we tell especially the schools and colleges, the young people, because they are the future of this country. Any seed that you sow in the hearts of the young will decide the future. So we talk to them, we have dialogues with them, we have interactions with them, and we tell them we have come to plant the seeds of Manav Ekta, Sadbhavana and Shanti in your hearts. Seeds don't become trees in one day. It takes time. Now, it is for us elders to nurture these seeds and see that they keep them intact, look after them. The teachers and the elders and the parents are responsible in nurturing them. But the basic seeds have to be planted in the hearts of the young so that when they grow up and become responsible citizens of this country, no one can then tempt them or persuade them to be divisive. They will stick together. And this is especially important for women to take note of this. I always tell people when it's so important because the mother's influence goes throughout your life. Even when we want to respect our country, what do we say? Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Everybody says Bharat Pita Ki Jai. Mother, the woman, Stri Shakti is so important. For me, though, I worship the primordial mother. So for me, that's a difference. Not because because of that, why I'm saying this. So this is the attempt, and we're trying to bring people together. Now, I know that many of you in Delhi, including our distinguished guests, cannot probably walk with us, although some friends have walked a little bit with us, that they cannot walk throughout till Kashmir. But if you put your minds together and support us, if you say we are with you, I'm sure Even before we reach Srinagar, we would think that this walk of hope has succeeded. आप अगर कहें कि हम आपके साथ हैं या मैं आपके साथ हूँ, तो श्रीनगर पहुँचने के पहले ही ये यात्रा सक्सेसफुल हो जाएगा। ऐसा यही जहाँ मैं खड़ा हूँ। So, thank you very much. And if you find time, please walk a little with us in Delhi. That would give us great hope. And last, I want to ask you to repeat with me that we are one in Hindi. Can we? 3 times. हम सब एक हैं। हम सब एक हैं। हम सब एक हैं। भारत माता की जय। थैंक यू।